Hi, I'm Todd Reimer, co-owner and CEO of Element 212, and we are a research-based strategic and consultative marketing company located here in Anderson, Indiana. And I like to have people visit with me every once in a while, people I know, like, and trust, people I respect, people I know that are making a difference in the community, professionally and personally. I've known David for almost a year. We met last fall at an accelerant breakfast. We were standing in line for our food, and we just kind of hit it off. And David had me as a guest. We did a little video back in January at your place.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to return the favor for a long time. So I'm really glad you're here.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So anyway, enough about me. I just want to let everybody know I'm cheating. I have my questions for David here on the phone because I'm real excited about this interview. I think what you'll have to share is really important. I want to make sure I don't miss anything.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So first, David, what I love for everyone, probably a lot of people who are going to see this already know who you are. We're kind of in the same circle, but you always put out good insights, good content, good information, valuable information. So regardless of how many people know you, I think it's always good to hear what you have to say. So
Thank you.
Let's start though with who you are, who and how you serve. Okay, that could more professionally. You can throw it personally if you want to, and why you love what you do, or in other words, what's your purpose and what's your why.
Yeah, I'll keep this part real brief. So David Inman, I work for Sandler Training Trustpointe, and I serve Indiana companies and salespeople. Right? You can even see on my LinkedIn helping good salespeople become truly exceptional and good businesses transform.
I love that.
The reason I do what I do, this is a decision I made years ago, that anything I do professionally, it has to meet kind of three criteria. The first is that I'm learning something and that I'm growing. The second is that I'm making an impact. And the third is that I enjoy it, that I'm actually having fun. This is my dream job. I've got all of it. I've got an incredible team that I'm learning from every week. I get messages from clients and prospects even almost daily talking about the impact that it's making, just how much it's helping them. And I wake up every morning excited for what I do. I mean, my calendar is packed with things that I love doing. So at least for right now, this is my dream job. I love what I do.
So you said you love what you do. I think you mentioned about having fun in what you're doing. So does that mean you're going to go back to the Air Force someday because all the fun?
No, probably not. I don't need recruiters reaching out right now.
Okay. That's wonderful. Hey, by the way, you mentioned your LinkedIn. I wanted to ask you, somewhere on your LinkedIn, you listed yourself as a behavior optimizer.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Part of it is that it just sounds cool.
Okay. It does sound cool. I like it. That's why I had to ask.
The other part is that a lot of sales training that people are used to is based very technique heavy. Right? I'm gonna go to a workshop over the weekend. I'm gonna learn a cool technique that'll transform everything. That never happens. No technique changes your entire process. So a lot of what we work on is really behavior, attitude, and technique, but it is optimizing behavior over time through reinforcement, so that people can become better and do better, not just learn something exciting that doesn't make a lasting difference.
Okay. All right. I like that. Behavior optimized. So it's all about changing habits, would you say changing the way you do things, not just a little quick fix?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Okay. So what I wanted to ask you too is, with all the changes and advancements, and these changes and advancements happen all the time, a lot of people, argue that with the advancements in e-commerce sales and with search engines and all that stuff, that sales has changed. Some people may even feel that sales is not as relevant. I don't agree with that, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted you here. I did want to talk about the relationship between sales and marketing, but particularly I want to hear your opinion, your professional opinion. How has sales changed, and why is it still important?
Yeah, such a cool question. And this sounds weird, but the internet has killed a portion of sales.
I understand that.
And it has killed a part that should have died a long time ago.
I like that.
And that's transactional sales. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's actually what I did out of college. I worked in a retail situation inside of a mall. Right? You can't get more transactional than that. And it hit me very quickly that when people were coming in and I was selling to them, they could do that exact same thing online easier and not have to put up with me. And not everybody loves being around me.
That's not true, David.
Not everybody loves being around me. It's true. So I ended up actually, when I was working at that job, I went and I hired Sandler Trustpointe, the company I work with now, to train me. Paid them out of pocket to train me. And within 2 months, working still in the same retail location, my income doubled and I became the top salesperson in the country. which was also top salesperson in the company, right? And that is because people are sick of transactional sales.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a billboard the other day advertising a car dealership, and the main thing they were advertising is that you can buy online and not have to deal with salespeople. Right? People don't like transactional salespeople. It's not good for the salesperson. They don't make much money, and it's not good for the prospect or the client. All they end up getting is the cheapest product, which isn't always the best solution. Well, sometimes it is. A lot of the time, it's not. So what we're looking at now is that consultative sales is more important now than ever before. That trusted advisors can completely change the process. It's better for them and it's better for the prospect.
I really appreciate how you ended that. You have no idea how well you segued into my next question.
Good.
Because, there are, even in marketing, there are still a lot of it's transactional.
Yeah.
So someone comes in and says, I need leads, I need sales. And they're like, sure, Google AdWords, Facebook. Now, not all marketing companies do this, all right? There are a lot of good ones out there, a lot. But we kind of step back even in the marketing side and we go, okay, I understand what your goals are. I understand what you're trying to achieve. I understand what success means for you. I understand revenue. I get all that stuff. But let's look at the bigger picture, right? Let's look at the bigger picture. So you have to ask good questions, which is an important component of sales. You have to be consultative and advisory in nature, right? Otherwise, you're transactional, correct?
Yeah.
So I love that. And that's our philosophy for marketing. Now, we all know that even though there are some similarities between sales and marketing are different. I believe they're equally important. I believe one feeds into the other. I think one needs the other. That's my opinion. But I'm not here to give my opinion. I'm here to hear yours. So what I would love to hear from you, and again, what you shared went right perfectly into what I wanted to ask you is, how do you see sales and marketing being related, and how do you feel, or how do you see them being aligned?
So it is amazing how many prospects or clients we sit down with and we talk about sales and marketing, and it feels like a battle. You have the marketing team and the sales team, and they just go against each other, right? They never agree. Mm-hmm. But it could be the most powerful marriage there is, right? And when I say that, in sales, the winner is you rarely win by a mile. It typically comes down to inches, right? Between a winner and a loser. And with how quickly our market has changed, a lot of the time those inches are, does the salesperson understand marketing, and does the marketing team understand sales?
Correct.
If you don't understand it, you're not working together, it's probably not those inches that you're going to have. For instance, with the salesperson, if they can understand simple things like how to use effective subject lines to get emails open, how to use filters on LinkedIn to be able to find the right leads, how to be able to, they don't need to understand how to run a complex email campaign, right? That is what marketers are for. One of the very few things that marketers are for. I know there's a ton that comes into marketing, but if sales can understand at least a little bit of what you're doing and make that marriage, that can be those inches that end up leading to victory for the salesperson. So I think we need to ignore that line, that battle line, and make it so that you're working those together. In the ideal world, if I'm working with a client on their sales and they bring you in to help with their marketing, then we are meeting together and figuring out what can we do on both sides of this to make sure we're working together instead of against each other.
Okay. I love that. So you get it.
I feel like I do right now.
Yeah, I do. And I wanted to ask you that question because, I'm in the marketing world, and we at Element 212, we understand that and a lot of people are always surprised when I say this. Marketing is important. It definitely has to be one piece, one of the pieces of the whole pie. But It's not the end all be all. It's a component, right? So if your operations is not doing well, if your service is not doing well, if your customer service is not doing well, or your sales is not doing well, really, if any of those are failing, the other ones are going to fail as well. So here at Element 212, we recognize that all the departments, all the touch points, all your efforts, there needs to be an investment. If you're going to be a great company or a great individual, you have to invest money, you have to invest time.
Yeah.
So I feel, even though I'm on the marketing side, I look at you and I think what you're teaching people, what you're emphasizing is equally important to what we're emphasizing. And I don't see those competing. I see those complement each other.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the reasons why I was really excited about having you on here, just to really be able to share that belief, to share that point of view. I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Just a couple more questions real quickly. Number one, can you please just share with everybody the difference between the benefits and where the emphasis is placed on individual coaching, individual sales training versus a team, and how those function differently?
Yeah, as a real quick answer, going back to my example in the beginning when I was working for a retail store, my sales skyrocketed. I was doing really well, but it wasn't the same process as what my team was using. It made it so that I had a ceiling, and I quickly left. After I grew over those 2 months, realized that they didn't appreciate the new way of selling, and that they pushed against it so hard. I went and I found another company that supported that. So while I think individual sales can bring a lot of value, if you don't have the team support, if you're not building off of each other and questioning each other and challenging each other with that same process, eventually you're either going to leave or you're going to break down to what their process is. And neither one of those is good for the company.
Okay, I agree. My last question, and then I'm going to have you share some information about yourself and TrustPointe. I hope you looked at your crystal ball before you came, because my last question is, we've seen where sales has changed, and we see where sales is adapting, going from that transactional into that relational.
Yes.
Where do you see, and I know you have the answer, because you're one of the smartest guys I know. Where do you see sales?
Not a good build up for this question.
But I do trust your professional opinion on this. Where do you see, and I know you don't have a crystal ball, obviously. Where do you see sales going in, I don't want to say 5-10 years. Everything's changing so quickly. If someone says, where's marketing going to be in 10 years? I mean, you can try to predict, but I want to know where it's going to be next week. It's so fast, right? Yeah. Where do you see sales going and continue to adapt in the next year or two?
Man, if you had asked me that 4 months ago, I would have talked a lot about the importance of video and being able to use tools like Zoom or GoToMeeting. That accelerated, obviously, very, very quickly. I think that we're still moving in a very technological route mixed with, obviously, very consultative approaches. So I think to be successful in the future of sales, you need to be able to have a good understanding of not only the sales process, but of the tools that technology lends us to be able to make that process more effective. Can you use tools like LinkedIn and video and email, as well as some of the even very impressive automated tools that we have at our disposal now? If you can't, I think it's fair to say you're going to fall behind pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Appreciate all that. So what I'm hearing from you is non-transactional, relational. And just to build off what you just said, I've been reading as I prepared for this time with you. I was reading a lot of articles about sales and marketing, sales versus marketing, sales and marketing. And when it really comes down to it, whether we're helping our clients or whether you're helping yours, I do believe it's about that brand, your personal brand, right?
Yes.
The company brand, again, the personalization, the relationship, things like that, but also really understanding what our clients really need, challenging them, and not necessarily telling them all the great things, but having the courage to challenge them to be better versions of themselves by pointing out where some improvements can be made, and where the opportunities are made. And right now that might be a limitation that can turn into a great opportunity if given the right direction.
I completely agree.
And I think that's important on the marketing side and on the sales training side. We want to serve and please our clients. But we have to be good listeners, good communicators, and then challenge them to be better than they are. Yeah. So I think that's really important.
I think one of the other things coming up that I'm excited for is the transparency that comes with technology. Mm-hmm. That if you don't have integrity, if you don't approach things with honesty and morality, that's going to catch up to you a lot faster. The world has shrunk very quickly with technology. Everybody's talking. Everybody knows each other now. So I think very soon we're going to see those that have the right attitudes, behaviors, and techniques, and those that approach things with integrity are going to rise to the top much faster. Mm-hmm. And those who have been taking shortcuts are going to disappear pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually just listened to a podcast. Can't remember the guy's name, but his message was clear. He said the future is going to come down to morality, ethics, and integrity.
Yes, completely.
Everything.
I 100% agree.
Our happiness, our relationships, our communications, our success. It's all going to be wrapped around those three things. So I appreciate that. All right. Well, for like I said, I know a lot of people who are seeing this might know you already. So as a good reminder to them, or for those who don't know you, where can they find more information about you and where can they find more information about Sandler Training Trustpointe?
Yeah, and my apology for talking too much. We talked about that at the beginning. We ended up talking a lot. But yeah, if you're wanting to get a hold of me, LinkedIn is probably the best place. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I do a lot of training there. So just look up David K. Inman. It's pretty easy to find me. Right now I've got a bright green background, so pops out pretty quick. And then david.inman@sandler.com if you want to shoot me an email. And then just Google Sandler by Trustpointe. You can find our website pretty easy. We're not hard to find.
Okay. Well, David, I was so excited to have you come in. And this has been a lot of fun. I wanted to make sure we heard everything you had to share that was important. And I love it. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you. This was fun.